Welcome back to React Course 1. I'm your host Anton, and in this episode we'll set up dark theme using Material UI. Stay tuned and let's start coding. First, let's create a shared UI component page. This will serve as our main layout component. To create the styled component, we will use Emotion, which is the default Material UI library for CSS in JS. If you are using styled components, don't worry, as it has the same syntax. We will also create a type for the props and place the styles into a file with the name componentname.styles.ts, while the type will be in a file called types.ts. We should not use path aliases inside the components files. Next, let's wrap our app with the page component. Additionally, we have refactored the text component to have an index.ts file to export it as a public API, as we will be using this pattern more often in the future. Let's check how our app looks. We see that our page is more than 100 VH in height, so to fix it, let's add box sizing border box to all the elements. Now we can set up the Material UI theme. According to the documentation, we need to calculate styles for both dark and light modes and provide them to the theme generator. We will remove CSS variables from the project because we'll now control colors using Material UI. The function to generate the theme will be called getDesignTokens, as mentioned in the documentation. Here I will define the font. Don't forget to remove this theme from app.tsx because we placed it there in the previous episode. Next, I will define the colors based on the light and dark themes. After that, let's create the theme.ts file. In this file, we should create a React context to share our theme across components. Then, I will create a higher order component to use with the app component and provide the context. Inside this HOC, let's create the state for the theme. A function to toggle the theme, and the actual generated theme using our getDesignTokens function. Finally, we return our component, which will be passed to the HOC wrapped with the theme context provider. The theme provider of MUI and the CSS baseline component. that controls the behavior of MUI components based on the current color mode. Next, to check all of this, let's create a theme switcher component. I will place it not inside the share folder, but inside the features folder, because it's not just UI, it's a component with some logic. I will copy the theme switcher from the MUI documentation and simplify it to have the current theme from the context and the ability to switch themes. Also, I will install Material UI icons. Now let's wrap our app with HOC and test our theme switcher. Additionally, I will dynamically calculate the background color for the page to see the difference. We're almost done, but one really important thing is left. We need to define custom variables in the Material UI theme to provide a custom gradient as the background of the page. However, in TypeScript it's not that easy. We should redeclare some types from Material UI. According to the documentation, here I declare a new custom type for color called gradient. I will add a link to the documentation so you can see different examples of this approach. Now we can define a new color in our palette. And in the page component we can use this color from the palette when we choose the dark theme. And this is also important that all the MUI components are now dynamically adapted to our theme. So now we're done. See you in the next episode.